Mississippi State wins the toss. They defer, so LSU will receive. Trendon Holiday and Ron Brooks back to return for LSU. Sean Broccoli will kick off for Mississippi State. On the year, Trendon Holiday averaging just about 12.5 yards per kickoff return. Teams obviously trying to kick away from the speedster wearing number 8, but don't forget about Ron Brooks. He can be an explosive player as well. And we are underway. This kick will bound at the 4. Holiday to the 20, out over the 25 to the 27-yard line.
Boy, excellent return for LSU. And he holds the record for kickoff returns for a touchdown, and about 2 guys from breaking that one for 6 points.
Here's Jordan Jefferson, the 19-year-old starting quarterback for LSU. He has completed 64% of his passes, 5 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Andre, your thoughts?
Yeah, second youngest quarterback to start the opening day for LSU. I think he's great. He's going to have a fabulous career as a Tiger. Big guy, can make plays with both his arm and his legs.
Line up in the shotgun. Behind him is Charles Scott, the senior tailback. There aren't many people in the building, but it doesn't sound like it. Here's Scott to the 29-yard line. Give him a gain of about 3. Kyle Love, one of those defensive tackles, with the stop.
Bulldogs 34, KJ Wright.
Take a look at our LSU starting lineup above our scoreboard.
That's what Coach Miles talked about early. Look for LSU to really concentrate on running the football effectively. He's not satisfied with 163 yards a game. He wants more.
Russell Shepard quickly checks in at quarterback, takes the snap, was thinking about the option to Keelan Williams on the left side. He'll cut it up the middle to the 35. That'll bring up a 3rd and short.
Boy, highly recruited player out of Houston, Texas, Cypress Ridge High School, and they use him in a variety of ways. Has yet to throw a pass. Recruited as a quarterback, he's had 7 carries, averages about just under 7 yards a carry, and also has a reception for the Tigers for 6 yards.
Jefferson back in at quarterback now. Tigers will line up in the I. Scott is your fullback. Williams the tailback. It's Scott. He's met at the line. Falls forward. Loose football.
Boy, Dave, that's what these conditions, the weather conditions, could cause. Holding on to the football, and LSU somehow comes up with it. You know, it's Chris White, a Mississippi State defender, comes out of the pile with the football. But you look at Charles Scott here. Lowe has both one hand on the football. He gets a nice big hit from Zach Smith, the safety coming up from behind. Forces the fumble. They're fortunate to get it back. And Mississippi State holding to a 3-and-out early here in the first quarter.
Leon Berry back to return the punt of Derek Hilton. That could be the first of many footballs that hit the deck today. High snap. Hilton averaging 38 yards a punt. It's off a nice kick. Fair catch called for by Berry. And Mississippi State's defense forces a 3-and-out. Here comes that Bulldog offense on the football field behind their quarterback, Tyson Lee, the 5'10", 200-pound senior from just down the road in Columbus, Mississippi.
Well, I got a chance to talk to Tyson Lee yesterday. Very impressed with him. He's a former walk-on who earned a scholarship at the end of spring ball. He's now started 9 games, or started 9 games a year ago. And you look at it, he's been solid at quarterback for Mississippi State here early in the season.
We will move the pocket to the left. First pass is picked off. Patrick Peterson to the end zone. Touchdown LSU. The electrifying sophomore.
Patrick Peterson.
With just what you couldn't have happen if you're Tyson Lee in this Mississippi State offense. The ball goes off the hands days of O'Neal Wilder. You're going to see it right here. Nice little short roll, throwing right in rhythm. Hits the receiver. A little bit behind Christian Decree, the senior running back. He's unable to come up with it, right into the hands of Patrick Peterson for the touchdown.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 7 of the offense. Touchdown score, penalty of assessed on the kickoff.
Well, you hate that as a quarterback when you get it on your stats when you hit a guy and he tips it up in the air and it goes back. Just getting it intercepted is enough, but when it's returned for 6, that really kind of eats at you.
That is interception of the season for Jasper. Miscue by LSU special teams. Not only did they have the unsportsmanlike penalty, but now they can't convert the PAT.
Well, this could really be a story in this football game. The weather conditions, and it's not letting up yet.
Well, we said this would be somewhat dramatic. We weren't lying. It's 7-0, 6-0 LSU.
Attention first team with the 3 big fans.
Boy, you look at that young man. The ceiling is high for Patrick Peterson. 6'1", 210-pound sophomore.
Yeah, they really like him. Some feel like he's one of the best cover guys in the entire nation. Showed it on that play.
Well, as you can see, the ball. Yard line. That was due to the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty assessed against Mr. Peterson after the touchdown. Jasper will kick it off. Will take it just outside the 20. He's tripped up at the 27-yard line. Andre, let's go back to the interception.
At it because it looks like Harry Coleman, the outside linebacker, may have gotten a hand on this football, which causes it for Christian Degree to kind of tip it right off of him. Patrick Peterson right there, tip drill just like you run it in practice, taking it in for the touchdown and putting LSU ahead in this ball game early.
Injured LSU Tiger down at the 35-yard line. There is Mr. Peterson. They say he loves to talk. As a matter of fact, he had 9 solo stops in Washington.
What corners don't like to talk, though? They all like to talk, especially if they've got some talent and they have the confidence to go along with it. Oh, they'll talk to you. He's got great size, though, Dave. 6'1", 211 pounds. The future very, very bright for that young man.
He said he's been a little bit lonely lately. Everybody's kind of been thrown away for him after the performance he put on in the opening game. He's been kind of put on an island, but not today, at least in the opening moments. So Tyson Lee back in at quarterback in the shotgun. Anthony Dixon with that carry. He gets stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Take a look at today's Principal Financial Group edge to the game.
Well, for Mississippi State, it's stay away from 3 and outs. They've got to control the line of scrimmage and move the chains. LSU, it's tackle well. Mississippi State, they've got a couple of players, Dave, that are capable of taking it the distance. So when you get in the open field, got to make those sure tackles.
No gain on the opening carry from Anthony Dixon, so it is 2nd down and 10. Some confusion by the Bulldogs. They're going to have to burn a timeout. They couldn't get, they were trying to get a receiver up on the line and back the tight end up off the line of scrimmage, and they got confused and had to call a quick timeout. That'll give us a chance to take a look at our impact players. Hampton in. At Hampton, we love having you here.
Well, Anthony Dixon, he's got the golden rule. When in doubt, give it to 24, and he may have to tote the mail a lot in this ball game. Jamar Chaney, 3rd on the team with 16 tackles. He's the man in the middle defensively, and Pernell McPhee is the best pass rusher for Mississippi State. Leads the team with 2 sacks.
Anthony Dixon's going to have a huge game. This is the type of game where 24 is going to get the ball a lot. Now, talking to Dan Mullen, he doesn't have a problem. Ball to Christian Dupree or Arnell Stallworth, but the bottom line is Anthony Dixon is 6'1", 235, has been in this rodeo before.
Yeah, talking with Tyson Lee yesterday, he says he'll occasionally stop by the meeting room and, you know, forget all that stuff y'all are talking about. When in doubt, give it to 24. The golden rule.
I love that. 2nd and 10. Lee fires. Wide open, Marcus Green, the tight end, inside the 40 down to the 34-yard line.
Hey, that's what play action will do for you. If you don't have to run it successfully all the time. You just got to show the defense that you are going to run it a little bit. Right there, the play action of Anthony Dixon, all eyes on him, and they're able to sneak Marcus Green, the slot receiver, out and up along the sideline. Well timed and well thrown.
Gain of 32, 1st down and 10. Fire again, pass caught at the 29-yard line. Once again, it's Green. Just a quick hitter. Take a look at starting lineups for Mississippi State above our score.
You know, Dave, as a quarterback, I never mind. It didn't faze you much throwing or playing in the rain. As long as the officials dry, I felt like offensively you had the advantage. The receivers know where they're going, know when to cut. Defensively, they're kind of guessing a little bit.
2nd down and 5. Here's Dixon. Right back to the line of scrimmage. Chad Jones, one of the purple jerseys, to come up and make a play from his safety spot.
Dixon now ranks 3rd in the school's all-time rushing list. He needs 404 yards the remainder of the season. He's that shy of Jarius Norwood, his school record. And I saw him in practice on Thursday, and you talk about a guy that looks like he'll fit well in an NFL uniform. He looks the part.
Inside handoff to Dixon, trying to get that 1st down. I think he got it. Down to the 23-yard line. Charles Alexander hanging on, but I believe Dixon's 235-pound frame will move the chains.
Yeah, that's what they got to do. Convert on 3rd downs and move the chains. And you see it right here. An excellent block by Quentin Salisbury, kicking out. Little pull from the left guard, kicking out, creating a nice little hole right up the center of that offensive line.
Mississippi State up to the line in a hurry. They will do this throughout most of the afternoon. Dixon again, dancing around in that wet turf. He can't really dance today. Al Woods, defensive tackle, the senior out of Elton, Louisiana, brings him down.
Well, when you have a big back like Dixon, you don't need to dance much. 6'1", 235 pounds coming downhill at you, and that's his biggest assets. Power and able to hold on to the football, catches the ball well out of the backfield. Good football player.
Stallworth in the game along with Dixon in the backfield.
LSU, a lot of guys in the box now.
Tyson Lee to the 15. Bring up a 3rd down and 3. Harry Coleman, the senior outside backer, with the tackle.
When you run the football the way Mississippi State has with a little bit of success, watch them seal off the edges here. Just seal things off and get Tyson Lee to the outside. Just as you think they're going to run inside, seal things up and free up the quarterback on the edge with a run-pass option.
3rd down and 3 for the Bulldogs. This is a drive that started back inside their 30-yard line. Handoff. Stallworth tripped, I believe, over Tyson Lee.
I think he's going to get the 1st down, but boy, he would have had a lot more.
That was a huge hole.
I'll tell you right now, LSU looking a little soft in the middle of that defense. And they're going to rule this as a 4th down. Sure, maybe call for a measurement. But Mississippi State, maybe something to keep your eyes on throughout this ball game. Right between the center and the 2 guards are where they're having the most success running the football. All it's got to do is touch. That's it.
First down and 10 Bulldogs. Boy, yesterday, talking to Dan Mullen, he kept saying how important success in the red zone is this year. And they've been pretty good. 7 touchdowns.
83% in the red zone? Not bad. Not bad at all.
Play clock already down to 6. Mississippi State's already burned 1 timeout. Little confusion, razzle-dazzle. The throw back to Lee. That'll be a flag. Tyson Lee was interfered with. Chad Bumpus, the true freshman out of Tupelo, Mississippi, trying to hit Lee in the corner.
Boy, Chad Bumpus would have just run the football. He may have walked himself right into the end zone. He tries to come back and throw the football to Tyson Lee.
Pass interference on the defense, number 84. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic 1st down.
Raheem Alim just doing all he could not to allow the touchdown. And perhaps if he doesn't hit Tyson Lee, that would have been 6.
Well, everybody on the LSU defense, they do a fine job of maybe stopping this right here, forcing him to come the backside, Chad Bumpus. But right there, you've got a nice little lane to just pull it down and run the football on the outside. But pass interference and sets up Mississippi State at 1st down and goal to go.
Little option game. Here's Dixon. Dimes, touchdown Bulldogs.
Impresses you with that drive, Dave. You give up a touch to interception for a touchdown, and you don't blink an eye. You come right back and put one in the end zone yourself.
Broccoli to attempt the point after to give the Bulldogs the early lead. And they'll have it. Tyson Lee not rattled. The Bulldog offense not rattled. And Mississippi State behind their workhorse, Anthony Dixon.
The golden rule. When in doubt, give it to 24. Mississippi State 7, LSU 6.
A lot of fans still making their way to their seats as the rain has subsided somewhat. Still a little drizzle in the air, but Mississippi State rained on LSU's parade with a resounding 66-yard drive in just under 5.5 minutes.
Well, you know, we talked about this. On the road in the SEC, travel, not ideal for LSU, and then you throw in a little bit of weather, it all all sets up. And as well, what we forget about, LSU used to playing at night. This is a day game today, kicking at 11:20. They're used to kicking at 7:20. Some of them are still asleep.
Brendan Holiday, Ron Brooks back to return the kickoff. The short kick. Holiday will take it at the 13-yard line. Trendon, the fastest man in the history of college football, knocked out of bounds at the 34-yard line. A lot going on today. Let's check in with our SEC Network studios and Rob Stone. Thank you very much, Rob. A busy afternoon for him back in our studio. We'll keep you abreast of the situation going on around the country with Michigan up 1 over Indiana. First down and 10. Out of the I formation, it's Williams. The pile will fall forward. Give him about 2.5, maybe 3 on the carry. Charles Burns, the first man on the spot for the Bulldogs. Kind of weird to see Michigan in the top 25 this week.
Yeah, it's a place that if the Big Ten's going to ever get respect, you need Michigan to start playing well. I think Rich Rod definitely has them on the right path. So far this season, 3-0.
Can't argue with that. And with all the hoopla that went on about that program before the season started, that truly is a remarkable feat. Jefferson fires. Caught by Brandon LaFell, and that'll keep his streak alive. 32 straight games with a reception now. Charles Mitchell, the safety on the coverage.
Well, they do a good job with LaFell down in the slot and run off the corner. So that gives you a nice throwing lane down to the flat area. Right, and reading it out, that area outside defender goes out with the corner, and nice little throw and catch from Jordan Jefferson to Brandon LaFell.
Russell Shepard back on the field as Jefferson heads to the sidelines. The true freshman out of Houston, Texas. Takes it to the left side, picks up the first down near midfield.
Russell Shepard, the ball carrier.
Look at our Hampton Inn impact players for LSU.
Definitely Jordan Jefferson, the quarterback, 5 touchdown passes. That's tied for 4th in the SEC. Terrence Tolliver, big-time playmaker on the outside. And Raheem Alim, the defensive end, he leads them in sacks. Big-time pass rusher on the defensive side.
Going deep, down the middle, wide open. Terrence Tolliver down to the 10-yard line. A gain of 40 on the play for LSU.
Boy, and right on cue. When you talk about playmakers from the outside, big-time receiver, just a nice deep post route. You get right into the corner and break it off. Well-thrown football. And he leaves Marcus Washington, putting some space between himself and Marcus Washington. Excellent pass from Jordan Jefferson.
Jefferson throws near side. Here's LaFell to the 5-yard line. Charles Mitchell will bring him down. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 5. Now, LSU can pick up a first down, but they got to get inside the 1.
Yeah, and, you know, going back, Jordan Jefferson, he's kind of been criticized a little bit, throwing the short to intermediate routes, but the deep stuff is where he's had problems in this LSU offense. Didn't look like he had much of a problem there, hitting Terrence Tolliver on that deep post.
That's something that they've been doing in practice a lot, throwing deep. It just hasn't translated into the games yet. Well, they just displayed a little bit of that work moments ago. Williams stopped at the 4.
Well, you're going to line up and play in the box with Mississippi State. Get ready, because they'll fight you. And it's going to be tough going between the tackles for LSU on the ground. Spread them out, and they've had some success getting outside on the edges. The Russell Shepard quarterback run. Picks up the first down, things of that sort, swinging it out. Brandon LaFell, but when you get them in boxed in like that, Mississippi State they'll more than go toe-to-toe with you.
Charles Scott will be your fullback. Keelan Williams your tailback.
They usually like to run the lead option here.
Play action. Jefferson off his back foot to the corner. Brandon LaFell, touchdown LSU.
5-yard touchdown pass to Brandon LaFell.
Well, they had me fooled with it as well. When you watch LSU, Charles Scott comes in as the fullback. They like to go lead option, but they fake the play action, which fools everybody, myself included. Certainly Mississippi State. The linebackers bite up, secondary bites up. We had one of two receivers to go to in that situation. Tight end Richard Dixon was open, as well as LaFell.
This point after attempt is much better than the first, and it is successful by Josh Jasper. An impressive drive by LSU. Brandon LaFell with a couple of grabs, his fourth touchdown reception of the season. It was only 5 yards, but it sure made a lot of noise. LSU reclaims the lead, 13-7. Jordan Jefferson, Brandon LaFell hooking up to cap off a nice 66-yard drive. 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Brandon LaFell, this young man, this is his 31st straight game with multiple receptions. That's how good Brandon LaFell has been, the senior out of Houston, Texas.
First team All-SEC last year and had 63 receptions last year and 8 touchdowns to go along with it. It's off to a great start. That's his 4th touchdown reception of the season.
Leon Berry on the return out to the 25-yard line. Let's go back to that touchdown for a moment, Andre.
Take a look at it. We call this short motion. You'll see Brandon LaFell motion down inside and go to the corner. Tight end's going to block down and in the flat. You get the play action here and everything. You get everybody biting up on the play action fake from Jordan Jefferson. He has actually 2 receivers open, but he chooses LaFell in the back of the end zone. Well thrown football.
First down and 10 Bulldogs. 3:39 to go in the opening quarter. Quick hit to the outside. Here's Chad Bumpus. He'll get it out over the 30. They will actually spot it at the 39-yard line. Chris Hawkins runs him out of bounds.
But credit Dan Mullen and Les Keening, the offensive coordinator, for kind of keeping LSU on their heels. And they like to go this no huddle when they find the personnel that they like on the field. They will no huddle and speed the tempo up offensively.
Here's Dixon. Actually, a play fake to Dixon. Tyson Lee will keep it. And he'll get run out of bounds, but a first down for the Bulldogs. Let's go downstairs, check in with Kara.
Well, guys, you were talking about the young Jordan Jefferson, and the word that Coach Miles uses to describe his quarterback is unflappable. He responds really well, whether he's just thrown a touchdown or an incompletion. Coach Miles says he doesn't know the offense perfectly, but he's working at it, and he really likes his game management skills. And by the way, Brandon LaFell said it was time for Jefferson to have a breakout game. They've already connected for 1 score.
Thanks, Kara. That pass batted down. Boy, Riley got up in the air. Hard to believe that man weighs 250 pounds the way he elevated.
Yeah, right here. If a guy doesn't get there, right there, you go to him as an offensive lineman. You got to go cut him down. Greg Jenkins got to go get into the body of Perry Riley so that he doesn't try to time it with the quarterback and is able to do exactly what he did.
Boy, Raheem Alim was about 6 yards back in the backfield of Mississippi State and stood there and started pointing. And his team said, get back.
False start. Number 24 of the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous stop. Second down.
Well, that's why.
Yeah.
Saw Anthony Dixon kind of flinch a little bit. But going back to what Kara was talking about with Jordan Jefferson. Excellent in high school. 21-0 as a senior.
Andre, a weird situation just occurred. Patrick Peterson just hit the deck out of nowhere. And maybe it's got a cramp or something going on, but there was no play, and he just fell down.
We certainly hope he's okay. Returned an interception for a touchdown on LSU's opening play on defense. Working around that lower leg area.
Jack Marucci, the longtime LSU head football trainer, working on Patrick Peterson. And while we have a moment, let's go to our studios. Check in with Rob Stone.
Jai Eugene's checking in right now defensively. LSU, and as a quarterback, Dave, when you see a guy go out, all of a sudden you have the bullseye on you. That's where I'm going with the football. He's cold, just checking himself. Football game, and guess what? When Patrick Peterson comes back in, I'm throwing at him because I know he's not 100%.
You're ruthless. Lee, that ball needs to be batted down, but it's actually caught by Brandon McCray. He batted it in the air. I don't think the LSU defenders knew that it was in the air, but he ended up catching it.
Well, he's their possession type receiver, a guy with good hands. It looked like they had a double screen set here, maybe wanted to screen to Dixon, but had a screen on the backside as well. Well, that is just being in the right place at the right time right there if you're Brandon McCray.
So third down and very long. Let's say 15 on it as Tyson Lee will throw. That pass dropped out of bounds by McCray. That'll bring up fourth down.
Well, I tell you, both quarterbacks throwing the football well. Tyson Lee, that's not on him. Brandon McCray's got to come down with that football, though it would have been a little bit short of the first down marker. Tyson Lee stepped into that one, delivered a nice, well-thrown football right along the sideline.
Trendon Holiday to return.
So Trendon Holiday back to return the punt. His first time to return a punt this afternoon. 7 punt returns on the year. 7.5-yard average. As long as 19. He does have 1 career punt return for a touchdown. Keith Hutchins with a nice hang time. And Holiday will call for a fair catch. Time to take a look now at the road to the Dr. Pepper SEC Championship. And today we look at LSU's history in the SEC Championship. They have had 4 championship game appearances. Now they have won 10 conference titles overall. That's 4th in the conference. And they are 3-1 in those title games.
Well-coached football team. They recruit well. They coach the talent up once they get them to campus. And a fine head coach in Les Miles.
Out of the I formation. Handoff to Scott. Not much happening on that run play. Give him a couple on the play.
You know, Dave, we got a chance to talk to Les Miles early in the week, and he talked about wanting to run the football better. He's got senior running backs in Charles Scott and Keelan Williams, and expects a lot more. A lot of coaches around the country, though, would be awfully satisfied with 163 yards a game. Not Les Miles.
Yeah, you know, he just said there's too much talent up front and our running backs for us not to be better between the tackles. Jefferson has all day to throw. That ball should have been picked off. Jamar Chaney right in the middle of the field. It hit him right between the twos.
Well, middle linebacker dropping deep in zone coverage, and he actually does a fantastic job of reading the eyes of the young quarterback who really just stared this down and took Jamar Chaney right to the football. Trying to go to tight end Richard Dixon. And boy, Mississippi State, he's going to wish he had that one back.
Chaney, the leader of that defense, the senior. Jefferson avoids one man, throws on the run. That pass is incomplete, out of bounds. Looking for Ruben Randall, the outstanding freshman wideout.
Boy, definitely a key third down situation for Mississippi State, and you want to get yourself off the field. Excellent coverage down the field. It's tough covering a receiver all the way across the field like that, but he runs out of room. They get just enough pass rush on Jordan Jefferson to force an errant throw. But you look at it, you have to punt the football. LSU's come back to take the lead. The last thing you want to do is have them put together a drive and then put points on the end of it.
High snap through the hands of Derek Hilton. He'll be dropped back at the 1-yard line. Tay Bowser drops him back at the 1. It was a loose football, but it doesn't matter. It still belongs to Mississippi State, first and goal.
The ball is spotted at the 1-yard line.
Well, I think once again, Dave, the conditions playing a part. A little high the snap, but I believe if it's a little drier football, that one's going to be fielded. But right there, coming loose. I think the wise thing at that point is to just fall on the football if you're the punter.
Handoff, Dixon right side. Did he get in? Yes, he did.
The Bulldogs of Mississippi State capitalizing on the momentum. The turnover, setting up a short first and goal from just inside the 1-yard line. And who do you go to but your best player on your football team? When in doubt, the golden rule. Give it to 24.
Previous plays is under further review.
I thought we might get another look at that. There was such a big pile at the goal line. It's hard to tell.
Well, I was very, very impressed talking to Dan Mullen this week. But you take another look right here. The big fella, all 6'1", 235 pounds of him, trying to get in, and it's going to be tough. It was ruled a touchdown by the officials, and they've got to have obvious evidence that he did not get himself in. And a couple of replays, I don't know that they're going to have enough to overturn the ruling on the field. See it once again here. Anthony Dixon getting low. And it kind of looks like he slides in sideways from the other angle that we watched.
Yeah, he bounced off Patrick Hanrahan, the fullback. And let's see here.
I think it's going to stand.
Yeah, I think it'll be a touchdown at the end of the day.
We got a good football game. I know that.
It's hard. It's just hard to be. That's inconclusive, I think.
What I was saying earlier, mentioned the fact I got a chance to visit with Dan Mullen this week. Very, very impressed. He has a plan for this Mississippi State football program and of how to recruit.
The ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Thought that would be the case, but Dan Mullen has a plan, Dave, for this Mississippi State football program, how he's going to recruit, how he's going to go about getting players and putting a product on the field that's going to compete in the SEC. I'll tell you, early this season, got to take your hat off to him.
Anthony Dixon needed 8 points to become the school's all-time leading scorer, and with those 2 touchdowns, he has now taken the top spot. Here's the point after from Sean Broccoli. Snaps good, holds good, and the kick is even better. So Anthony Dixon giving some high fives to his O-line, giving him just enough crease to sneak it in the end zone. The Bulldogs lead by 1 with 41 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. Now Thursday night, or was last night, our friend Lou Holtz was saying that this is a game to keep an eye on.
Right.
An upset-type special, perhaps.
Well, it has all the elements coming into the football game, and then you throw in the travel of LSU that we mentioned earlier. On the road in the SEC, a day game for the Tigers. They're not used to that as well. And then factor in the weather once you get here. It's pouring down. It all sets up for that upset that Coach Holtz was talking about. I'm sure he didn't have weather factored in and all the other stuff, but it was tough enough just going on the road in the SEC.
Jordan Jefferson, 4 out of 6, 55 yards here in the first quarter. It's amazing how many people, they're still filing into the stadium.
There's some late tailgating going on. Waiting on the rain to kind of subside a little bit. It's all but gone now. Let's play some football.
Here's the kick from Broccoli. That'll send Holiday back inside the end zone, and he will bring it out. A flag comes down, 2 flags, and Holiday dropped at the 20-yard line. Good coverage by Mississippi State.
Usually in this case you get one of 2 things. You either get a holding or a block in the back on the receiving team.
During the return, holding. Number 35 of the return team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Good to see Matt Moore, our referee. Haven't had him all year. Take a look at our top 25 AP poll, and our top 10, and you see LSU sitting there right now at number 7. A lot of people wondered if Ole Miss was legit number 4. I think the same question was in play this week with LSU at number 7. But you think there are some losses, potential losses in there today?
I think there's about 5 potential upsets that could take place in the top 10 before the day's over.
Jordan Jefferson has responded every time he's needed to this afternoon. He will keep it and lose a yard. K.J. Wright, the outside backer who leads the team in tackles with 23, brings him down.
Well, I think this Mississippi State defense feeling the energy from this home crowd. And right around the football, they had Charles Scott bottled up, had Jordan Jefferson giving him the football. He pulls it, and they got 2 defenders on the outside waiting on the quarterback.
Brendan Holiday in at tailback. Scott is your fullback. 2nd down and 11. And that will be the end of the first quarter. The crowd making some noise. A rain-soaked crowd. Davis Wade Stadium, Scott Field. There was just something in the air this morning that said that this was going to be fun today.
A great football game, and that's what we've had so far here in the first quarter.
We've had all kinds of plays on the offensive end, the defensive end. It's been fun. Quarter number 2 on the way. SEC Network Game of the Week presented by Wrangler comes your way from Starkville, Mississippi. 15 minutes are in the books, and the Bulldogs lead 7th-ranked LSU by a single point. LSU looking at a 2nd down and 11, backed up inside their own 10-yard line. Empty set, 5-receiver look. Jefferson throws, pass caught by D'Angelo Peterson, the sophomore out of New Orleans. LSU, this has been a trip that they would like to start over again at this point. Of course, it got off to a bad start with about a 4.5-hour delay leaving Baton Rouge yesterday. And, of course, the day game scenario doesn't bode well for the Tigers of late.
Yeah, don't play a lot of day games, but they've lost 5 straight in day games. That's games kicking before 5 p.m. And they're used to that 7 o'clock kick down in Baton Rouge. A little early for the Tigers.
Little option to Williams. He's got some room to the 30, tripped up. That'll be about 2 yards shy of the first down. Give him 8. Charles Mitchell with the tackle, his 3rd stop of the afternoon.
right now working themselves out of some bad field position behind the sophomore quarterback Jordan Jefferson. Excellent pass on first down to D'Angelo Peterson. They pick up the first, and then right here going to Keelan Williams with a nice handoff and providing nice room on second down. When you get second and short like this, entire playbook is open.
Good strong throw from Jefferson. He hits LaFell to the 48-yard line. Nice looking throw and catch. Gain of 18. Jack Smith finally brings down LaFell.
Well, we call this one the switch route. LaFell is going to come right off the outside receiver. You see it here, going to come right on the outside. The outside receiver comes up. You see deep zone coverage. You sit it down on the outside right there. Recognizing zone coverage. Excellent throw and catch by the receiver, Brandon LaFell, and quarterback Jordan Jefferson.
First and 10. Couple of play fakes. Jefferson under pressure, and he'll be dropped back at the 37-yard line. Jamar Chaney, the middle linebacker, will get credit for the sack, his first of the year.
Well, kind of a delayed blitz from Jamar Chaney. Really just kind of eyeing things. He bites on the play action. You see it right there. But right here, just kind of waiting. And I'll tell you what, he chooses the right side because Jordan Jefferson going to escape to his left. Chaney's sitting there waiting it out. Boy, what a fine tackle.
Missed almost the entire season. Played a half against Louisiana Tech back in 08, the first game of the year, and broke his ankle. Said he was back to about 100% around springtime.
Actually, it's signed with Georgia out of high school. Ends up here at Mississippi State.
Delay a game against LSU.
I'm around the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous shot. Second down.
To finish up that thought about Jamar Chaney, he was on his way to the University of Georgia. Had some issues, couldn't get in school. Mark Richt felt so strongly about the young man and his family that he actually picked up the phone and called Sylvester Croom when Jamar made it known that he wouldn't mind playing for Coach Croom. And Mark Richt actually helped him get here to Mississippi State. And now the senior's about to graduate. Pressure again, batted in the air, and it falls to the turf. But Jefferson was stung by Marcus Washington. This is the aggressive defense that we saw last week from Mississippi State that wasn't there against Auburn 2 weeks ago.
Well, you see him rush just the blitz off the slot receiver, and the eyes of Jordan Jefferson, he never picks him up. But boy, what a well-timed blitz on the part of Marcus Washington. Mississippi State playing some solid defense right now.
Russell Shepard and Jordan Jefferson both in the game.
This is where third down, if you're Jordan Jefferson, take care of the football.
3rd and 26.
3rd and Starkville.
Timeout LSU. Mississippi State jumping around on the defense.
You notice I change that up every week from wherever we are doing a game.
That'll be a 30-second timeout.
First timeout burned by LSU. Look at Dan Mullen. He has to be happy to this point anyway. 14-13 his Bulldogs lead. The 7th-ranked LSU Tigers. It's our game of the week presented by Wrangler right here on the SEC Network. Dave Neal, Andre Ware, Kara Capuano down on the sidelines today. And, of course, LSU has dominated this series of late. They've won 9 straight games in this series, which is the longest between these two clubs. Goes back to 1896. In the first quarter, though, you wouldn't know.
No, just an interception right here by Patrick Peterson on a deflected football, but Mississippi State comes right back. Goes to their workhorse, Anthony Dixon. LSU, George Jefferson to Brandon LaFell, and then Dixon gets himself back in the end zone. Gets us to where we are right now with Mississippi State on top, 14-13.
Jefferson on 3rd and 26. Fires deep. Off the fingertips of LaFell. That could have been trouble.
Yeah, actually the strong safety, Charles Mitchell, to that side, took a bad angle, and if LaFell's able to come up with that, nobody's behind him. If you want to take care of the football, I like the decision, throwing it deep down the sideline. Your receiver catches it or it goes out of bounds. That way you punt and you play defense.
Well, long snapper Alex Russian has had some problems snapping the ball, and it looks like LSU has made a change. Joey Capel steps in to snap it now for LSU, but a bad punt off the foot of Derek Helton, and Mississippi State, Josh Jasper, and Mississippi State will have excellent field position. We will step aside with Mississippi State leading LSU 14-13. Look at some of those LSU receivers talking with their quarterback, Jordan Jefferson, as they had to punt it away moments ago and give the football back to Mississippi State. Four-man front by LSU, first down and 10 Bulldogs. Tyson Lee will run a little fake option, step back and heave it downfield. Has his man, O'Neal Wilder, and it's intercepted at the 20. The ball hung up in the air. Chris Hawkins with the pick.
Tyson Lee hung on to that football a little bit too long and maybe trying to get to the laces, but he had a receiver wide open and behind the secondary, just underthrew the football, and he had him beat. Well, this is one when you're studying the film the next day. Throw this one on out to O'Neal Wilder right here. Let the football go a little bit early, about a split second earlier. Receiver, you see it underthrown, got to stop, try to come back for it, and Chris Hawkins does a nice job of coming back to the football. Boy, he put everything he had into that one.
Well, the turnover will give it back to the Tiger offense just inside the 20-yard line. They'll spot it at the 19 out of the I formation. That handoff goes to Williams. He will fall out to the 25-yard line. Give him 6. Marcus Washington trips him up.
You know, you could say, if you're thinking about it from a Mississippi State standpoint, that it's as good as a punt, a deep interception like that, but you give away momentum, you give away downs, you know, the potential to go down the field and score. And now you got to play solid defense.
Down on his knees as Chris Mitchell makes the catch. That'll be good enough for the first down.
The bad thing about it is it wasn't fourth down when it happened. It's your first down after stopping LSU. And now giving up a first down to a quarterback that seems to be finding his rhythm in the passing game in Jordan Jefferson. Russell Shepard in at QB.
Holiday comes in motion. He'll get the handoff. Boy, that was played well by Mississippi State.
John Ferguson at defensive end. Played it well. The sophomore defensive end out of Miami, Florida. Kind of had to redirect himself. And I'll tell you what, trying to hunt down Trendon Holiday, if you're a big fella at 6'3", 245, having to redirect, you're not going to make that play on a lot of days.
Second down and 10. Jefferson back in at quarterback. Boy, Mississippi State is moving around a lot. Their safeties and linebackers are jumping all over the field. When pressure comes, Jefferson gets the pass off. He was rushed and forced the early throw. Time for an update. Let's go to our SEC Network studios. Rob.
South Florida getting it done.
Wow.
Jim Leavitt.
And Florida State coming off that great win over BYU last week. Put them back on the map. Jefferson. Pass is caught by Terrence Tolliver, but only gets about 4 on the play, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
Well, they bring the corner blitz from the boundary, and Jordan Jefferson does an excellent job of recognizing it. It's just that where he decides to go with the football is accurate. It's right. But the receiver, Terrence Tolliver, he's got to pull up just a little bit before he gets to the safety, and it's before the 1st down marker. He actually circles back and loses a little bit of yardage.
Joey Crapel back in to snap the ball. And back punting again is Derek Helton. Good snap. And a good kick. Good hang time. Fair catch called for by Leon Berry. That time LSU executed. A lot going on around the Southeastern Conference. When we come back, we will have some headlines for you. Stay with us on the SEC Network.
And the flavor of the South.
This was Friday, yesterday afternoon, 5 o'clock. This is how these guys get ready for a game. As they get the tents laid out, and it looks like a bunch of ants. The race is on.
Oh, boy, don't you just love college football in the SEC?
A little soggy out there, as you just saw, but all those folks have, most of them anyway, have made their way inside Davis Wade Stadium at Scott Field. First down and 10 Bulldogs. Inside handoff, loose football, it's on the ground, and LSU has come up with the turnover. Drake Nevis will come up with the recovery. It just fell out of the hands of Arnell Stallworth.
Well, that's why it's tough sometimes playing multiple backs. And Arnell Stallworth has been kind of watching Anthony Dixon be the workhorse here in the first half of this game. He finally gets in and gets himself a carry. Excellent job. But when you get in a pile like that, young running backs, both hands on the football.
The senior out of Daphne, Alabama, coughs it up. That's the 3rd Bulldog turnover. 2 interceptions and a fumble.
Well, and you hold defensively in 2 possessions. First play, interception. Come back, you get hold again, get the ball back. Next play, fumble.
LSU in business. Look at Shepard. Made a couple of guys miss inside the 20. They'll spot it at the 18-yard line. That'll bring up a 2nd down and short.
Well, it's going to be a surprise to everybody when Gary Croton, the offensive coordinator, allows Russell Shepard to throw the football. Because every time they put him back there, it's usually a run-type situation. I think anybody's going to look for him to throw the football yet, but it'll be a surprise to all of us. Mississippi State defensively included in that.
Shepard will stay in the game and keep it off the right side. Cuts it back down to the 10-yard line. Nice run by the true freshman out of Houston, Texas. Average coming into the game about 7 yards per carry.
Play picks up 7 yards. First down.
He's electric.
SEC fans, don't miss the 3rd annual SEC Big East Invitation. It'll be held at Madison Square Garden in New York City on December 9th and at the St. Pete Times Forum in Tampa on December 10th. For details and tickets, visit SECBigEastInvitational.com. Empty set with Jordan Jefferson at the controls. Tolliver in motion. He will get the pass to the 10, to the 5. And dropped there.
Jefferson pass complete to number 80, Terrence Tolliver. KJ Wright.
LSU knocking on the door, trying to reclaim the lead over Mississippi State.
Second down,
On a rain-soaked afternoon in Starkville, our SEC Network Game of the Week, presented by Wrangler, Dave Neal, Andre Ware, and Kara Capuano.
LSU provided with great field position after the fumble recovery and trying to take advantage of it right here.
Jefferson, incomplete. Tolliver was on the in line when he caught the football. 3rd and goal coming up.
Well, it's just a nice in route by Terrence Tolliver in the back of the end zone. And well-timed on the part of Jordan Jefferson. We're going to see right there, 3rd and 4. And Jordan Jefferson, 2 yards. 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 2 just well thrown out in front, but you got to know exactly where you are on the field if you're Terrence Tolliver.
So 3rd down and goal from the 5. Keelan Williams, your tailback.
Well, that small win if you're Mississippi State, if you're able to hold here.
Jefferson pitches it behind Williams, who made a heck of a play just to catch the football, but he is stuffed for no gain. Charles Burns, the first man on the spot, along with Zach Smith.
No gain on the play.
Well, you got to take your hat off to this Mississippi State defense. 3 possessions in a row, holding LSU, and then they get their backs to the wall right here in point-blank range. And look at all the white jerseys around the football. Able to hold LSU to a field goal attempt. Offensively, you got to start taking care of this defense if you're the Bulldogs, because they're playing a lot of snaps all of a sudden defensively.
Josh Jasper in to attempt the 23-yard field goal. He's 5 out of 5 on the year. Kick is on the way, and it is good.
Jasper field goal is good.
Les Miles likes it because his club, they just took the lead back away from Mississippi State. Back to Starkville in a moment. Welcome back to the Wrangler SEC Game of the Week. Be sure to stay tuned to see which player is selected as the Wrangler 5-star player of the game. 6 plays, 21 yards.
That young man having a nice first half, 9 of 15, 100 yards. Has yet in 10 starts today to throw for 200 yards, so he is well on his way if he can keep this current pace.
Short kick will settle down at the 15-yard line. It's Wade Bonner out to the 30s, to the 32-yard line. And that's where Mississippi State will set up their shop offensively. Time to look at some SEC headlines. And, of course, coming into Thursday, there were 3 teams in the AP top 4, 4 in the top 7, but that'll change with Ole Miss's loss. And how about Gene Chizik as the Auburn Tigers are 3-0. They take on Ball State later tonight. Joe Cox, 5 touchdown passes, tying a school record at Arkansas in that shootout in Fayetteville on Saturday night. Named the SEC Offensive Player of the Week after he threw for 375 yards. Chris Welf, our first look at the 6'3", 235-pound sophomore quarterback for Mississippi State. Some of our headlines include this today. Tim Tebow, he and Major Wright and Joe Hayden had to take a separate plane up to Lexington. Some upper respiratory infection for Tim Tebow that has developed the last couple of days. They don't think it's anything to do with the flu, which has hit that team, but still, Tim Tebow not 100%. And Anthony Dixon running like he is 100%. So we'll keep an eye on that storyline today.
Yeah, but, you know, they've got arguably the 3rd best quarterback in the SEC that backs up Tim Tebow in John Brantley. So they should be in good hands, provided that if Tim Tebow cannot go today. But I got a feeling that somehow, some way, this Saturday, he traveled to the game. I feel like he's going to have a helmet and some shoulder pads on and playing today.
First down and 10 for the Bulldogs. Ralph will stay in the game. Inside handoff to Dixon. Just too many bodies to hurdle.
Well, they're going back, Dave, to where the bread was being buttered early in this football game. Anthony Dixon between the guard and the center, 2 guards in the center. But Chris Ralph, the coaches feel like he's got the potential to be a big-time player. Big arm. We see the size there, 6'3", 235 pounds. And he's the playmaker of the 2 quarterbacks. Lead more of the game manager.
Here's the pitch to Brandon Evans, and he is knocked for a loss.
Chris Ralph is slow to get up.
Brandon Taylor came up from a safety spot and laid the wood to Evans. Here's a look at the first 6 possessions for Mississippi State.
You see the turnovers. And I tell you what, they're lucky right now to just be as close as they are with LSU. Because they had the 3 turnovers early in the first half. That is tough to overcome, but defensively they have played outstanding football.
Tyson Lee back in the game. On a 3rd down and 15. Pressure comes. Lee spins out of trouble. Will throw on the run. That pass nearly picked off by Patrick Peterson.
Peterson not showing any effects of that leg injury that he had late in the first quarter. He's back, and all of a sudden we get ourselves in a 3-and-out situation, or actually punting situation here. But that one should have been thrown a little bit more to the inside to see the defensive back break on the outside of the football. Now, as if that happens as a quarterback, you throw to that inside shoulder of the receiver.
3:49 to go before halftime. LSU will have another chance to stick one in the end zone here, leading by 2. Holiday back to return the punt, but Mississippi State unable to get their punt team on the field correctly, so they'll have to burn a timeout. Dan Mullen not too happy about that. He's in charge of these special teams for the Bulldogs.
He's trying to get Tristan DeCrete on the field, and you got to know where you are at all times in the situation as a player. And Dan Mullen, he actually coaches up the special teams for Mississippi State, just like Urban Meyer down in Florida. It's important to coaches, and I agree wholeheartedly that is the fastest way to win or lose a football game is on special teams, because a big play happens. You're either set up to score easily, or you just take it to the house in a lot of situations.
And he puts a ton of importance on the special teams. He has guys begging to get on special teams because Dan Mullen, since he coaches, he takes care of those guys. He lets them get in front of the meal line. All kinds of favors come your way if you're on a Dan Mullen, if you start for special teams. So a lot of guys, a lot of these starters that aren't on the special teams, they're begging, clamoring to get
you know just how important it is if the head coach is coaching the special teams. You know it's of importance.
Heath Hutchins to punt it away to Trendon Holiday, and that'll be a flag. Holiday, fair catch at the 15, but that'll be null and void as LSU just ran straight into Heath Hutchins. Was that Peterson?
Roughing the kicker. Number 7 of the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Well, it's Patrick Peterson. I got to believe, Dave, he was there. He just took the wrong route to the football. He went for the punter as opposed to taking the ball off the punter's foot.
I actually thought it was going to be a block. You watch it here. He's there, untouched. He can make a play, but he just takes the wrong route. And you get the punter's body instead of the football. Tell you what, that's a big, big break for Mississippi State.
It's almost like his own man
kind of bumped him into the punter.
Otherwise, he would have had the block. Nobody touched him. Mississippi State loves every minute of it, though. 1st and 10 inside LSU territory at the 43-yard line. 3:41 to go here in the first half. The fingertips of Chad Bumpus, the freshman out of Tupelo, Mississippi, started to run before he caught it.
Brings up 2nd down.
Coaches really like Chad, though. They think he is ultra talented. One of those guys that makes you miss after the catch.
Yeah, they call him their playmaker on offense. They like to get in those low bubble screens or just get the football in his hands on reverses. Just find a way to get the football to the playmakers.
He actually had a scholarship offer from LSU but came here to Starkville. Here's Bumpus, catches that. He's knocked out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Jacob Petrera, the middle linebacker, pushes him out of bounds.
I heard you talking about it. You guys decide to step up right on cue. Mr. Neal's going to say something good about me. I got to make a play for him.
I'm going to write something down next to your name. I hope you make a play. Come on. Empty set for Tyson Lee. 3 receivers to the top, 2 to the near side. Lee was crushed as he hit the football, as he let go of the football, looking for the tight end Marcus Green.
Well, you just got to make plays, and as a quarterback in the huddle, you got to get all the guys together, let them know just how important this 3rd down situation is. And I'm going to stand in there and take a hit like that. Oh, you better catch the football for me.
4th down. The Bulldogs will go for it with 3:10 to go here in the opening half. 4th and 5. They're in that no man's territory, no man's land. In motion goes Arnell Stallworth. They'll move the pocket to the left. Lee hit as he throws. Intercepted. Back at the 17-yard line, Brandon Taylor will have this interception, the 3rd of the first half by the LSU defensive group.
Yeah, Tyson Lee's played a lot of football. Senior quarterback, was a starter. He started 9 games last year for Mississippi State. You got to know, with that much experience, not to force the football, which is exactly what he did. And now he's thrown his 3rd interception of the first half. And you see it here, just kind of ricochets of Perry Riley and right into the hands of Brandon Taylor.
2nd interception of the season for Taylor. Hawkins has one, Taylor has one, Peterson has one. That handoff to Keelan Williams. And once again, Mississippi State's defense, you know, Les Miles talked about the running game a lot, and they're just not having much success running the football. Tyson Lee has just been getting battered lately. Look at his numbers, 5 out of 13, and he's paid a physical price along the way as well.
Yeah, the first interception, you know, I'm okay with that one because it was deflected. You threw it on time. And then the last 2, it's been right on the shoulders of Tyson Lee.
Jefferson. Pass caught.
Oh, I like that. That's playing right there with your eyes in zone coverage. Jordan Jefferson moving defenders with his eyes to kind of open up. And you can throw a lot of guys open, but you can actually move them with your eyes as well. Watch this. Reading the area outside defender. He looks to the flat just a little bit, just a hint to take Jamar Chaney away from the play and provides just enough room to squeeze that football in there.
Yeah. Chris White was all over Richard Dixon. But a good throw by Jefferson. 3rd down and very short. Williams loses 5.
K.J. Wright, the outside linebacker, and they call him the freak. Fantastic athlete who makes plays in space. An outside linebacker, 6'4", 245 pounds. They can use him in pass rushing situations to put his hand on the ground and come after the quarterback. But you're one-on-one with Keelan Williams in the open field. What a nice tackle.
LSU will have to give up the football when we come back.
1 minute, 40 seconds, back on the clock.
Les Miles perplexed. On 3rd and 1, they went with an option that lost 5. And now they have to punt it away.
Yeah, you know he's got the lead, but he's a long way from being satisfied with his team's performance here in the first half.
Derek Hilton to punt away to Leon Berry. Very good playmaker. Another good kick. A booming kick by Hilton. That'll send Berry back to the 20. And he'll be dropped at the 25. A 52-yard punt brought down by R.
The safety here, Charles Mitchell, he's going to come over. You've got support by Zach Smith on the outside, and then now you've got K.J. Wright right in the open field. It's just my man right here. Excellent tackle, and you see the support coming from the Mississippi State defenders. They didn't bite on the play fake to Charles Scott. Played sound defense.
9 rush yards. Now that includes the sacks, but still 9 rush yards for LSU. Lee will throw it. Caught on the far side. That'll be about 4 yards shy of the first down. Brandon McCray with the reception. Coming up on the Cellular South halftime report, we'll update you on the Team 10 Tebow situation. Of course, FSU and South Florida in a tussle. We'll have some highlights there and some early games like Michigan and Indiana as well. First down, Mississippi State. Leon Berry with the grab.
I'll tell you what, Dan Mullen not satisfied being close with LSU, trailing 16-14. They're trying to get some points here. minute, 1 second left here in the first half. Into the 2-minute offense and slinging it around a little bit.
Over the middle, pass is caught. Leon Berry, another Mississippi State first down to the 35-yard line. Clock will stop for a moment. Brandon Taylor brings him down.
Berry is a JC transfer from East Mississippi Community College. He can play inside, outside. The second team junior college All-American last year.
Good protection. Pass is caught. Nice one-handed grab. Perry Riley was all over Marcus Green, and he still held on. And did he get out of bounds?
No, he didn't.
No, he did not. Clock ticks at 31. 30.
Takes it 4 yards. Finds at 31. Second down.
Lee hit. Crushed by Raheem Alim again. That is the second or third time that Alim has just gone unabated to the quarterback.
Boy, he had Marcus Green open if he's got a split second longer. And he's working against, look like Chad Jones, the safety, gets behind him. And if he's got just a split second longer, he's going to hit Marcus Green. It's a foot race to the end zone. But Tyson Lee, he's getting knocked down, but continuing to fight.
20 seconds left, third down and 6. Stallworth goes in motion. Four-man rush, going up top. Looking for Brandon McCray. Incomplete at the goal line. It'll be fourth down. You go for it here on fourth down at 5 with 13 seconds. One more shot, or you try to kick the field goal.
He likes Sean Broccoli, the kicker, and he's hit from 49 yards this season. He likes him. He says he's got this swagger about him, this quiet confidence that I like in my kicker. So he's going to line up and take a shot here.
Well, Broccoli missed his first 2 as a Bulldog. He's hit 5 straight, including a 49-yarder against Vanderbilt last week. He did hit a 55-yarder in junior college. That is his career long. And LSU will use their second timeout.
Try to ice the kicker a little bit here. But this will give Mississippi State the lead going into halftime. And I'll tell you what, they're actually lucky, Dave, with 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and a fumble to be this close.
Absolutely.
To LSU in this football game.
You cough it up 4 times and you're only down 2. Well, all season long, Champion Apparel will be showcasing the tradition and history of the SEC. And today we take a look at what else? The Cowbells here at Mississippi State. Of course, the Cowbells have been here for a long time, introduced back in the late 30s. They were actually banned, and they still are artificial noise
They just find their way into the stadium somehow. But
somehow they get here.
I didn't know. I've seen games, Mississippi State games, and knew about the Cowbells, but I had no idea that a cow actually walked on the field against Ole Miss, and the Bulldogs actually won the football game.
Now, here's a big play.
Oh, boy.
LSU may have jumped off sides. It's fourth down, and we'll say 5. It was Raheem Alim. And we'll see if this is good enough to move the chains, but it's at least a free 5.
Prior to the snap, offside. Number 84 to defense. 5-yard penalty.
Or it gets Sean Broccoli 5 yards closer in this field goal attempt. So I would take the points here. I would at least attempt the field goal if I'm Dan Mullen. No doubt about it.
It'll be about a half a yard shy of the first down line. So it'll now move it to a 43-yard field goal from the right hash.
Now, if you had a timeout, you might start thinking the other way, but no timeouts. Go ahead and kick it.
Chris Cameron with the hold, and he drops it. Still on his feet. At the 34-yard line, he's dropped, and Cameron just looked like he lost the handle of the football. It was not a bad snap. And now LSU will have it with 5 seconds left.
I'll tell you what, right here, just a mishandle. You see how the conditions early affect the football game, and right there, just can't handle the snap because of maybe a wet football. Now instead of maybe leading going into halftime, you're going to be down by 2. And there's a lot to kind of be optimistic about going into the second half if you're that man, Dan Mullen. You've basically given away 4 turnovers. You start 5 now. Actually 4. 3 interceptions and a fumble. But then you have a second fumble on a field goal attempt that would have given you the lead, and you're still in the football game. Well, we don't talk about moral victories a lot, but a lot of football left to be played here.
Entertaining first 30 minutes. Let's check in with Kara.
Coach, it's a 2-point ball game at the half. How do the Tigers build on that lead in the second half?
Well, we just got to make sure we don't have any miscues in special teams. I mean, we've turned the ball over and given them as great a field position as there is. So we just got to, I think we're shored up on special teams. I feel better about our punter now. I think he's got, there's some bad snaps, and I think we've alleviated that problem. I look forward to the second half. We just got to continue to do the things we've been doing.
On offense, you wanted to run efficiently. Are you satisfied with that yet?
No, I'm still not.
All right, we'll watch for that in the second half. Thanks, Coach. Dave?
That has been a problem area. Rushing for this LSU team has not been good today. Just 9 yards on the ground. Time for us to go to our Saga the South halftime report. Rob Stone. Les Miles telling our own Kara Capuano walking into the locker room at halftime. She asked the question, are you happy with this running game? And he looked at her and said, absolutely not. And they really have struggled. You take away a 21-yard loss on a bad punt snap, and they still have only gained 48 yards on the ground. Down to the 5-yard line is Leon Berry to the 30, to the 35. And that's where the Bulldogs will have it for the opening possession here of the second half. Brought down by Derek Bryant.
Well, you look at it, the miscues for the Bulldogs today. You have the fumble, which led to LSU's field goal, and 3 interceptions. Defensively, though, they have played outstanding in just holding LSU to 16 points in the first half. That's been the difference. That's why they're still in this football game.
Chris Relf in at quarterback to start the second half. Not much happening on the play. Maybe a yard, if that. Take a look at our first half stats brought to you by Crystal. Nothing like it. And you look at the total yard situation, and it hadn't been real pretty for either club.
Well, you look at it, the rushing yards, just 29 on the ground for Mississippi State, only 7 in the first half for LSU, and that will keep you up at night as a coach on the offensive side of the football, trying to figure out how to run the football effectively. In a game of turnovers, and that's been the difference.
You look at Jacob Cutrera, the middle linebacker, the senior, down on the field. Oh, we got a second. Let's go down and check in with Kara.
Well, guys, Jamar Chaney was telling us yesterday, the linebacker, that they don't care that LSU is the 7th-ranked team in the country. Mississippi State wants to snap this 9-game losing streak to LSU. In the last 4 meetings in Starkville, the Tigers have outscored the Bulldogs by the tune of 165-13. That includes a pair of shutouts. So if you look at the scoreboard right now, these 14 points that Mississippi State has on the board, the most that they've scored in 5 meetings with their opponents from Baton Rouge.
I kept trying to get him to bite on being the next team to upset a top 10 team. He wouldn't bite. He just kept talking about the, 9 times in a row they've lost to LSU. I guess if you take care of one, you're going to take care of the other one.
Well, they've also lost 16 of 17. That last win came in '99, was 17-16 Bulldog victory. Tyson Lee now back in at quarterback. 4-man front by LSU. Dixon in motion on 2nd down and 10. Here's Dixon. Lost 3 on the play. Al Woods from his defensive tackle spot will get credit for that stop. That'll bring up a 3rd and long.
Well, it's really been some good defense played in this football game thus far, and give LSU credit as well. They forced the 4 turnovers. They played a lot of snaps on that side of the ball, but they've responded.
Lee will throw. They will say incomplete pass. It looked as though O'Neal Wilder might have been pushed from behind by Carnell Hatcher.
He he saw a lot of action last year on special teams, but right there, I'm thinking that's going to draw a flag, and he may have gotten away with one then.
So that'll bring up a 4th down. Dan Mullen wanted a flag. Instead, LSU's defense stands tall, forcing the punt. Heath Hutchins. Looks like some movement against Mississippi State. That'll move them back 5.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 30 of the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous try. 4th down.
Boy, you just go into halftime, and those are the penalties that drive coaches crazy. They're okay with the effort penalties. You know, guys occasionally is going to hold. You're going to have a pass interference while the ball is in motion. It's when it's still jumping off sides, procedure penalties. Those will drive coaches absolutely crazy.
So Holiday will stand at the 29-yard line waiting for the Hutchins punt. Short kick. Holiday steps up, fields it at the 37. Herndon dropped at the 42-yard line. So Arnell Stallworth with the special teams stop as Jordan Jefferson comes back on the field for LSU. 10 out of 16 in the first half, 108 yards and a touchdown. Your thoughts about his performance, Andre?
Well, you know, it's kind of been up and down, but throwing the football, especially a wet football, I've been impressed with. 10 of 16, 108 yards through the air, and the touchdown pass to go along with it. I thought he looked sharp in the first half.
Dugas the fullback, Scott the tailback. It'll be play action. Going for it all. Wide open is LaFell. He makes the catch at the 20. That'll be a touchdown, LSU. 58 yards on the touchdown strike.
Boy, and he beats Damian Anderson on just a post route. He eats up the cushion and gets him behind the safety. Look at the play action here where you're just going to set your feet. Buy some time for Brandon LaFell to get down the field, and credit the offensive line of LSU to provide that type of time for Jordan Jefferson to find Brandon LaFell. They didn't waste any time, did they?
They get the 3 and out. And on the first play, they go deep, 58 yards. Brandon LaFell, 19 career touchdowns for the LSU Tigers. Their lead is now 23-14. 166 right now. Leon Berry on the return. Leon out to the 35 to the 36-yard line. Brought down by the kicker, Josh Jasper. Let's go back to that touchdown.
Well, take a look at it, and you're going to see the safety step up right here. And now you give this a lot of room to Brandon LaFell. Nobody in the center of the field. The safety gets caught up in play action. You see him take the step up right there. Now it's just LaFell and the corner to that side. Damian Anderson. And a well-thrown football right in stride to Brandon LaFell.
First down and 10 for the Bulldogs. Tyson Lee at quarterback. Anthony Dixon yet to get on track today as well. Anthony, 8 carries, 21 yards. Will pick up 4, maybe 5 on the play. Shepard will get credit for the stop for LSU.
Yeah, you got to go to the bell cow right now in Anthony Dixon and kind of get him started. Run the football right now. LSU offensively, they found some rhythm, and you got to find a way to cool them down a little bit, and that's with a little bit of offense of your own and moving the chain.
Dixon. He'll pick up the first down into LSU territory at the 49. Chad Jones. Well, the fourth stop today.
The thing you can't do, Dave, is panic if you're Mississippi State and Tyson Lee, the quarterback. You've got an LSU defender down, and looks like it's Drake Nevis, the big defensive tackle. But a slow, quiet day for Anthony Dixon. That's the 2 touchdown runs, but not a lot of yardage to go with it.
Well, if they can get Dixon, it's only down 9. You don't have to abort the run game yet.
Stay with the game plan if you're Dan Mullen. And don't panic trying to hit a big one over the top and get a quick score right back. You know, it's almost in your favor to use some clock and to move the chains, but then you got to have some type of response on the end of it.
Well, today's SEC game is brought to you in part by Cooper Tires. Don't give up a thing. So Drake Nevis walking off, being helped by Andy Barker.
Yeah, he splits time with Charles Alexander, who's the starter, but they play about 50% each at that defensive tackle spot.
Charles Alexander on the field now. Big 91. First down and 10, Mississippi State, 12:36 to go here in the third quarter.
LSU showing a little pressure.
Inside handoff, nothing happening on that play.
Anthony Dixon, the ball carrier. Okay.
You're not going to fool John Chavis, the defensive coordinator for LSU, all day long. Sooner or later, he's going to make some adjustments and get more guys in the box. And he came over from Tennessee. He's been their long-time defensive coordinator for a while.
Quick snap. Here's Bumpus trying to get the corner. Can't do it. Good play. Ja Eugene, the junior.
I'll tell you, Bumpus is going to be an exciting player. But there's John Chavis there now, LSU's defensive coordinator. You see the 13 years that he put in at Tennessee and Philip Fulmer's staff. Well, the middle of the field right now is wide open. If you can get Bumpus in the middle of the field in that slot, he's matched against a linebacker in Harry Coleman, who was once a safety.
Tyson Lee wasn't ready for the snap. He's directing traffic. The play clock was winding down. The snap came, and he wasn't ready for it.
That's why sometimes just call a play, get to the line of scrimmage, and run the football play. How many mistakes have we seen Mississippi State make by coming to the line, breaking the huddle, you get to the line of scrimmage, they stop, look back over to the sideline. It breaks the rhythm of a quarterback. Sometimes you just got to call a play and take the thinking out of it for the offensive unit and just run the play.
Heath Hutchins will punt it away. Brendan Holiday back at the 10. Fair catch call for by Holiday on a 37-yard punt with good hang time. Tyson Lee looking for some answers. Back in a moment. To the Wrangler SEC Game of the Week on the SEC Network. 7th-ranked LSU taking on Mississippi State. Dave Neal, Andre Ware, and Tara Capuano, who's down on the sidelines on a soggy afternoon now. You look at the numbers for our quarterbacks, and the bottom line is the big one. 4 Bulldog turnovers today, but Jordan Jefferson, nice half and some change. Here's LaFell. Give him 9 on the play.
Well, let's take a look at the Mississippi State miscues in this football game. Opened it up with a tip and an interception by Patrick Peterson. That one was returned for a touchdown. Going up top, trying to strike deep, and then another interception for Tyson Lee. They put the football on the ground. And then here, the third interception. You mishandle a field goal attempt that would have given them the lead going into halftime.
Jefferson now a career high in passing yards with 175 on the afternoon. Handoff to Scott. Well, that run defense by Mississippi State's been very solid today. Pernell McPhee brings him down, the junior out of Ahokee, Florida.
Yeah, he was described by the coaches as the team's best pass rusher, defensive lineman of the week in the SEC. And this is the amazing thing about him. He played 1 year of high school football, 2 years of junior college ball. Now he's starting in the SEC.
Hey, what? At this pace, just keep playing, big guy. The good things ahead for him.
3rd down and 2. We'll see what McPhee and company have in store for the Tigers up front. Incomplete. Looking for Richard Dixon, but it was pressure from K.J. Wright that disrupted the play.
K.J. Wright is in the right spot again. No pun intended, but right here you see him making a nice play on Jordan Jefferson, forcing him to get rid of that football, trying to hit Richard Dixon on a nice little flat pass, trying to pick up the 1st down. But when you're rushed as a quarterback, you got a big guy like that, 6'4", in your face. Can't really throw an accurate pass, and that one was a little bit low for Dixon, the tight end.
Helton's punt. Another good one. Fair catch called for by Leon Berry at the 25-yard line. Time for us to head back to our SEC Network studios and check in with a busy Rob Stone. Thank you very much, Rob. Georgia Tech trying to, of course, rally from that tough loss 10 days ago down in Miami. 1st down and 10 as Tyson Lee looks to the sidelines. Here's Dixon. Steps over one man, bulls his way out over the 35 to the 36-yard line. That'll be a gain of 9. The ACC kind of responding after a disappointing year last season. Now with 4 teams in the top 25, including Miami up there inside the top 10. Florida State after the BYU win at 18, and North Carolina trying to hang in. Now, I think if Georgia Tech hangs on against North Carolina, they may flip-flop spots with the Tar Heels in the top 25.
Well, we've seen a lot of football this season. I don't know if there's a team in the country playing as well as Miami right now.
That inside handoff, they needed about a half a yard. I don't think he got it.
Boy, I like his effort. He's lost 12, 15 pounds this offseason. Got a little bit faster. Scouts like him, like what they see when they come in and take a look at Anthony Dixon. He is a tremendous football player.
3rd down and still a yard. Here's Dixon. There's a 1st down and a few extra yards on top of that. Out to the 41. Give him 5 on the carry. Carnell Hatcher comes up to the safety spot along with Peterson to make that tackle, but 1st down Bulldogs.
We want to credit the offensive line. They go right to the soft spot of that LSU defense, and they've kind of found a nice place to run the football when they need to have yards, especially short yardage situations, behind the center and those 2 guards inside.
Lee will throw it. Out of bounds. Looking for Marcus Green. That's one of those throws that look like being 5'10". Kind of hampered a little bit with one of those big D linemen right in his face.
Well, he struggles with that a little bit. Certainly, you got to find a way to get your throwing lane in a little different manner when you're 5'10" as opposed to the 6'5" Jordan Jefferson. You can see over everybody at that point in time. You know, you have to anticipate as well a lot more when you're a shorter quarterback.
2nd down and 10 now. That pass caught by Marcus Green.
Nothing wrong with that one. Check it here. It's just a nice little in route, and I like the eyes of Tyson Lee looking left first and then coming back to his tight end, Marcus Green. And it gives him that throwing lane that we just talked about. Just a little bit of room to squeeze one in to Marcus Green. Boy, Dave, all the mistakes that Mississippi State's made in this football game. All the turnovers, all the fumbles that didn't result in a turnover, yet they're still in the football game.
Just shy of that 1st down. By the way, Marcus Green now with 4 catches for 50 yards.
I think I'd go to the golden rule here. And the big fella, Anthony Dixon.
Green. That will be a Bulldog touchdown on 3rd and short. Give him 50 yards on the touchdown reception.
Honestly, Dave, I'm thinking, what in the world are you doing in this formation when you just need about a half yard to pick up a first and move the chains?
You and I both.
And credit Tyson Lee in that one. He's tried to short roll right. Nobody was open. He spun back around. And Marcus Green beats Carnell Hatcher, who gambled on an interception.
Going after is up and good from Sean Brockley.
And Mississippi State right back in this football game. He gambles. When you're back there by yourself like that, Carnell Hatcher, you got to make sure you make that tackle. If he misses the tackle, Marcus Green scampers for the touchdown. Look at Tyson Lee here, finding his man Marcus Green down the field, turning it up for the touchdown, and we have got a ball game. 23-21 LSU, but the Bulldogs, they're hunting right now.
Seventh-ranked LSU in a real tussle with Mississippi State. Les Miles wondering how can he shake off these Bulldogs. Well, Marcus Green isn't going anywhere. 5 catches, 100 yards, career highs, and a touchdown. That's 2 touchdown receptions this year for Marcus. Here's Holiday at the 8. Trendon to the 50 and run out of bounds. Excellent return for Trendon Holiday. 47 yards on that return.
Well, let's go back and take a look at the touchdown pass to Marcus Green. And I'm not sure this wasn't designed. He's on the end of the line of scrimmage here. He's going to block. Then you're going to see him slip out and underneath. Tyson Lee going to take a short roll and then come back. It looked as though it was just a scramble drill, but nobody's in the flat for a quick pass. He slides back around, and now Marcus Green by himself. Once Carnell Hatcher misses the tackle, it's off into the races.
Keelan Williams gets 4 on the play. Let's go down and check in with Karen.
Guys, watching Coach Mullen's offense in this game, I'm taken back to when we were talking to Florida coach Urban Meyer. He said Florida used to have to be tricky because he didn't have all of the players that he wanted in place. Do you think that Coach Mullen is kind of getting creative in the playbook until he has some time to get all of his recruits lined up? They're really taking some chances here.
I think there's no doubt that last touchdown pass was a design play. Had us fooled. I thought it was a short roll, go to something real quick in the flat. Then I took a look at it. There was nobody there to go to.
Jefferson will fire. Pass back in the air and caught by R.J. Jackson to the 10, down to the 7-yard line. A 40-yard pickup, but K.J. Wright saved a touchdown.
Well, he had his best game against Vandy a couple of weeks ago. 6 receptions, 55 yards.
I'll tell you what, right here, Jordan Jefferson, a short roll, puts the ball in the air and coming back to it, but it gets bobbled up, batted up in the air. But R.J. Jackson able to reel it in. A big play for LSU.
First and goal, trying to set up that little middle screen, which they love, to Keelan Williams. First time we've seen that today, and it fell incomplete.
Yeah, they love to screen to Keelan Williams. I'll tell you what, if he's able to complete that one, you just got to be a little bit more patient as a quarterback. Allow the rush to get to you a little bit closer, and then just throw a somewhat catchable football to Keelan Williams, and he was going to walk into the end zone. And that's a career high for Jordan Jefferson, 215 yards through the air.
Over the middle, through LaFell's hands, incomplete. A little hot. Off the hands of Jefferson and then through the hands of LaFell.
Big athletic quarterback. I'd go right back to the same formation if I'm Gary Croton, the offensive coordinator. And you see it right there, just a quarterback draw. It's one-on-one with Jordan Jefferson and a linebacker, Chris White. Go back to the same formation and quarterback draw.
Third down and goal.
It's there. Nobody in the middle of the field.
Jefferson stopped at the 2. It'll be 4th and goal. Pernell McPhee.
All right, decision time. I think you take the field goal here. Points on the road if you're Les Miles.
Now remember, LSU has had some issues snapping the ball today. They missed an extra point. Joey Crapel will be the snapper in this situation. The holder, Derek Helton. The kicker, Josh Jasper. And he missed it. No good.
And it looked like they had some trouble getting the snap down in place through the rhythm of the kicker off Josh Jasper just a little bit, where it goes wide left. And Mississippi State going to have the football at their own 20-yard line. Take a look at it. Watch the hold. Just couldn't get it placed cleanly. And Josh Jasper yanks it just a little bit left, and you see the reaction. None, really, from Les Miles.
Boy, it has been a struggle in special teams today for LSU. But Dan Mullen's club, that defense, once again, they've done it most of the afternoon, stood tall. First down and 10 from the 20. Stallworth. They will mark him just shy of the 30-yard line. Chad Jones with his 4th stop. Let's take a look at our game summary brought to you by Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society of Omaha, Nebraska.
Jordan Jefferson, you see his performance. How about Tyson Lee fighting through those 3 first-half interceptions and getting his team back in this football game.
Here's Dixon on second and about 2 feet. He lost a yard.
Okay.
And then another player for LSU that is down. He's kind of feeling himself up.
Yeah, that's Chancey Agayeri.
I don't think we're going to see any trickery right here on this end of the field, Dave. His lineup and maybe quarterback sneak this baby for a first down.
What's the golden rule?
Give it to 24.
And they will pick up the first down. Perry Riley will get the stop, but all they had to do was get the nose over the 30, and they did so.
A big fella, 6'1", 235. You get him going downhill. His motor's running because he wants the football.
Not much happening on that handoff to Arnell Stallworth, or excuse me, Christian Dupree. I'd like to recognize a couple of players from Mississippi State. Tyson Lee and Lyle Hitt from LSU as our SEC Network Scholar Athletes of the Game. ESPN Regional Television will contribute $1,000 to both schools for their general scholarship fund on behalf of their players. There's Dixon. He's out at the 40 to the 43. First down, Bulldogs.
Well, turning this game over to that big offensive line, and Derek Sherrod, the left tackle. That's their team's best offensive lineman. Going behind him, and they've beaten him inside so much. Now they're getting some yards on the edges of the defense.
Here's Dixon again. He's met inside that hole by Drake Nevis. Barry Riley also there.
Well, Dixon looks like one of those backs, Dave, that as the game grows older, he gets better.
Well, you know, I heard that over and over working with Sylvester Croom, who's cut his teeth as an excellent running back coach in the National Football League. And he kept saying that he loves guys like Dixon because in the fourth quarter, when you need to grind it out, a guy like Dixon is invaluable. The problem was last year they weren't grinding out anybody in the fourth quarter.
But excellent job of play calling by Dan Mullen in this situation. Mixing it up inside, outside, but as well chewing that clock down. And they're able to get those positive yards that you talked about. When you got to run the football for positive yards, they're able to do it. Big third down here for Mississippi State.
And each first down, each third down conversion will keep that defense, the Mississippi State D, on the bench. Nothing happened.
Decision time.
Whoa. Alexander and Riley. Christian Dupree had nowhere to go.
They get tremendous penetration. First Charles Alexander and then Perry Riley showing up to clean things up. But they have a little meeting in the backfield in.
Looks like Mississippi State will probably take this time to assess the situation. It's 4th and 3 from midfield, as that will be the end of the third quarter, and the Bulldogs are hanging tough. An exciting final 15 minutes is on the way from Starkville. It's 23-21 LSU. Nothing like it.
Nothing.
It's nice to get back into conference. We've had non-conference games the first 3 weeks, and this is the real deal now, folks.
No doubt, and I agree with Dan Mullen's decision right here to punt the football. You have an entire quarter, 15 minutes to play, punt the football and play defense, and they've been excellent on that side of the ball.
Hutchins will punt it away, trying to get it away from Chad Jones, and that will be fielded at the 5. Look at Jones go. He's got a block. Chad Jones has some blockers in front. One man to beat. Can he do it? Still on his feet. Needs another block. Chad Jones, touchdown. LSU. 93 huge yards.
There's a flag down.
I don't see a flag anywhere on the field.
The officials are huddled, and I saw the Mississippi State coaches pointing to the field as if there were a flag down.
Boy, and I tell you what, some of our officials are running back the other way.
Way back the other way. And it's down around the LSU 44-yard line, but they may pick this one up.
Sideline interference on Mississippi State. That's a 5-yard penalty. That penalty will be declined. Touchdown. Good.
How about Chad Jones goes back. Trendon Holiday's been returning punts all afternoon. Chad Jones gets a crack at it, fielded it back at the 7-yard line off a couple of hops and goes 93
And you know it's got to be eating on Dan Mullen if he even thought about going for it on that 4th down.
Well, that extra point splits the uprights. Man, oh man, how quickly a game can change. Chad Jones, he's played in some big sporting events in his LSU career, won a national title as a relief pitcher with the LSU baseball team, showing he's also got some skills on the gridiron.
Well, he's a two-way sports star and showing it right here, picking up some nice blocks, get the big fella down the field, throwing blocks in front of him, and it's the rest of his Chad Jones to the end zone. LSU 30, Mississippi State 21.
The LSU band happy at this moment. LSU up by 9 after the 93-yard punt return by Chad Jones. That's not a school record, though, if you're wondering. That goes to Eddie Kinnison, 100 yards. That occurred in 1994 against who else? Mississippi State.
Boy, what an athlete, though. What an athlete. Became one of 3 players at LSU to ever win a national title in 2 sports. You mentioned the fact he won one in baseball and won one in 07 with the football team.
Here's Leon Berry. Let's see what he has in store. Hits the hole hard, but tripped up out over the 25. So Mississippi State will need to get this offense cranked up. 14:30 to go in the football game. But here it is.
Take another look. He breaks 1, 2 tackles. Then he's going to pick up some excellent blocks along the right sideline. Had guys out in front of him like Perry Riley. And just enough energy to get himself into the end zone. A little winded at the end of that one.
Boy, special athlete is Chad Jones, the junior out of Baton Rouge. Chris Relf in at quarterback now for the Bulldogs. He'll hand it off to Dupree. Will fall out over the 30-yard line. Chad Jones, we told you about his baseball. Well, here's a look at some of his nasty stuff on the hill. How about that breaking ball to a left-handed hitter? Hard to hit that coming at you.
I don't know if I want to stand in there with it falling off the table like that.
Brings a little football mentality to the diamond. LSU, what a great run they have had under Paul Maneri the last 2 years. They finished up 2 years ago winning something like 20-something games in a row before finally losing in the College World Series. And, of course, won the national title last year. Let's go downstairs and check in with Kara.
Well, guys, just a little bit more on Chad Jones. He earned the nickname Dreadlocks of Doom in his relief performance against Texas in that College World Series victory. 3 innings pitched, no hits, no runs allowed. And by the way, they didn't know if he was going to play football. He was drafted in the 13th round by the Houston Astros right out of high school, but he wanted to play at LSU with his brother, Raheem Alem.
I think everybody in Baton Rouge is quite happy with his decision. Ralph hit as he throws, lofts it up. O'Neal Wilder down to the 20-yard line. The redshirt freshman comes up huge.
They just refuse to go away, and this is a corner route, little short roll. Got a defender in his face, Kelvin Shepard. Tell you what, it was a gamble and a mistimed jump on the part of Brandon Taylor. And O'Neal Wilder setting up the Bulldogs once again.
Ralph takes the snap. It's Dixon inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. Give him a game of about 3.5. Shepard in on the tackle for LSU. Ralph doesn't throw it a lot. He has thrown it 14, actually completed. That's just his 15th completion in 26 attempts this year. 3 touchdowns, couple of interceptions. And he's mainly a runner back there.
Coaches say he's still developing as a passer, but he has got a big-time arm. Sometimes he just gets away from him a little bit.
Dyson Lee back in the game now on 2nd down, and let's call it 8. Dixon Jones. That's 235 pounds hitting 235 pounds. That is a collision.
We have talked about the success
of Mississippi State in the middle of that offensive line once again.
SEC fans, don't miss the third annual SEC Big East Invitational. It'll be held at Madison Square Garden in New York City on December 9th at the St. Pete Times Forum in Tampa. And on the 10th in Tampa. For tickets and details, visit secbigeastinvitational.com. His target, Chad Bumpus. Best protection that Tyson Lee's had in a while.
Boy, and I think they take that matchup. Bumpus matched against Danny McCray, the senior's free safety. Just an in route, and look at the middle of the field. Nobody there. If you just throw one that's catchable, it's 6 points.
Oh, he was there.
He was open.
Second down and goal now. Here's Dixon. Back to the line of scrimmage, and Perry Riley didn't bite on the fake, and Anthony Dixon dancing around maybe a little too much on that carry.
Yeah, I thought it maybe just once he committed to it, just go ahead and hit it and take what's available. Maybe you break a tackle and get yourself into the end zone, but once you start trying to get back outside on a fast defense, now you see all those dark jerseys start to show up.
Marcus Green checks in. He has a couple of touchdowns.
This is where you look for a matchup you like in this situation if you're the Bulldogs.
Dixon in motion. They will swing it out here to Bumpus. He was thinking about throwing it. Nowhere to go. Now he dumps it off. O'Neal Wilder made the catch. But he got popped on the sideline around the 5. Boy, did he take a hit.
You know, there's a place and a time for trick plays. I just don't think this is the place nor the time for a trick play. And sometimes you trick yourself right into a bad situation, and they barely escaped there.
22-yard attempt for Broccoli.
Sean Broccoli will come in from 22 yards out. Attempted a 43-yarder earlier, but the snap was dropped, so he never got to put his foot on the ball. This is good. Mississippi State hanging around. They're down 6. A lot of time left, just over 10 minutes. Intrigue. LSU head coach Les Miles, his club up 6 in the fourth quarter. That scoring drive, 68 yards, capped off by the Broccoli 22-yard field goal. It's a 6-point game. Remember, LSU on their first touchdown, which was an interception return for a touchdown by Patrick Peterson, missed the extra point. Thus, we have the 6-point difference here. Little pooch kick. Fair catch called for at the 35-yard line. And a huge hit. Did a flag come in? Kelvin Shepard with a heads-up play for the fair catch, but no flags. Time now for a look at our Nissan Heisman history, and appropriately enough, talk about a guy who's probably as famous for a punt return as he is a Heisman Trophy, Billy Cannon. Look at what he did. He did it all. 1,100 total yards, 10 touchdowns. He also had 4 interceptions, and he punted for a 40.3 average back in 1959.
Did it all.
Jefferson. Long throw to the wide side. First down. Good catch by Terrence Tolliver.
Jefferson's pass complete.
Here's the old Billy Cannon at work. Off a hop, much like we just saw Chad Jones do moments ago. This was against Ole Miss, the legendary punt return on Halloween. I'm sure Ole Miss fans get tired of watching that, but somebody who's an unbiased viewer, hard not to enjoy that.
Broke a few tackles.
Chad Jones-esque. running room for Jefferson. He's got the first down and knocked out of bounds at the 37-yard line by Chris White. A huge gain for the quarterback.
Well, it's right around that time when you start approaching about 9 minutes. There's about 9.5 minutes left in this football game, but you can't surrender points to LSU. Field goals and certainly not a touchdown, so you need a defensive stop if you're Mississippi State, if you're going to have a chance to win this ball game.
17-yard gain. Out of the I formation. Williams is the tailback. Pressure comes and down goes Jefferson. The safety, Zach Smith, the junior out of Altoona, Alabama.
Well, they blitzed the safety right off the edge.
Take a look at our upcoming schedule for Mississippi State. Or excuse me, LSU, and how important this game is for LSU. Brought to you by Toyota moving forward.
That's a tough schedule going forward. Georgia, number 1, Florida. You get them at home, but those are going to be 2 tough back-to-back games.
And that's why this game is so important for them. Jefferson just going to heave it up and throw it out of bounds. He got outside the tackle box, threw it past the line of scrimmage. Crowd wants a flag. There's a flag on the near side, however, at the 40.
Flag on the play.
When they were trying to set up a screen, Mississippi State sniffed it out, and Jordan Jefferson didn't have anywhere to go with the football.
Mississippi State saying that's against LSU.
I'm not sure he got out of the tackle box before he just threw that one away. Get the official word here from the referee.
Matt Moore is going to give us what this decision is.
Ineligible receiver, number 65, downfield on the offense. That penalty will be declined. 3rd down.
They are watching that ever so closely this season.
We've seen that a couple of times.
Yeah. And what happens if on a screen pass, it's a timing thing for the lineman. And they sense that the football should be gone by now. They start up the field, and that's usually when it's going to get called on a big guy, when it's a screen pass type situation.
Jefferson stands in, fires, incomplete, nearly picked off. Marcus Washington nearly got there in front of the receiver Chris Mitchell, but that'll bring up a 4th down, and the ball sits at the 44-yard line.
Marcus Washington in coverage.
And here comes the LSU punt team.
Boy, he had Terrence Tolliver on a post route from the backside. He was open. He just chose the wrong receiver, but he was running out of time. And Mississippi State, they hold defensively, going to give this offense another opportunity in this ball game.
Helton aiming for the 1-yard line, just misses, and that'll be a touchback. We'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Dan Mullen trying to make his mark in his first year as the Bulldogs head coach. His club needs some points. They're down 6. This is break 20 coming up. LSU hanging on to a 6-point advantage. 30-24 is our score. Let's take a look at our Polaris ORV hardest working player of the game. How about Brandon LaFell? 6 catches, 101 yards, a couple of touchdowns. He has 19 career TDs, now tied for 4th in LSU history in that department, and now has 9 100-yard games. He had 7 for 100 yards last year against LSU as well. Dixon for a couple yards on that carry.
Take a look at the 2 touchdowns by Brandon LaFell. The corner route. First up, Jordan Jefferson finding Brandon LaFell in the back of the end zone. Then the deep post route where he separates from the defender Damian Anderson. Made it look easy.
There is Brandon LaFell. Boy, has he got good size. 6'3", 205. Quick hitter to the far side, and nearly broken was Leon Berry, the playmaker, the junior college transfer that came in out of Griffin, Georgia. Nearly got past the defender.
Well, just a nice little screen pass here, and the thing you like most about it, no wasted movement by Leon Berry. Didn't try to dance around, catch the football, get yourself up the field, and he's able to pick up the first down.
Quick hitter over the middle. That's to Chad Bumpus. Freshman Kelvin Shepard with his 6th tackle.
Well, they got the killer bees working now. Bumpus and Berry, back-to-back receptions. And Tyson Lee with a couple of nice passes here in this drive.
Over the middle, and Marcus Green wasn't even looking for it. It hit him in the arm and fell incomplete. Time now to take a look at our Good Hands Play of the Day, brought to you by Allstate.
And it's the interception, opening pass, first defensive play for LSU. And you see Patrick Peterson going to the house on a deflected pass, giving LSU an early lead in this ball game.
Third down. Here's Dixon trying to get that first down. I think he got it. LSU, 3 purple jerseys, had him for a 2-yard loss in the backfield, and somehow he snuck out of that.
Al Woods was there. Perry Riley was there. And somehow, some way, the big guy, Anthony Dixon, breaks away. Mississippi State living by the golden rule. When in doubt, give it to 24.
Lee threw a bullet right into the middle, looking for Marcus Green. That's incomplete. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Now you have 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go in this game. You've got to think Mississippi State will have at least 1 more, possibly 2 more possessions in this game.
Tyson can't get locked on receivers. He had 2 guys left of the formation that were open, and he locked on to Marcus Green again in that situation.
Lee is 15 out of 29, $172, and 3 interceptions. That'll be batted down at the line of scrimmage. 3rd down coming up.
It looked like big number 97, Al Woods, the senior defensive tackle. He shed about 15 pounds during the summer. You see him there, able to get just a little bit more vertical because of those 15 pounds being gone.
Look at the big fella moving. The senior out of Elton, Louisiana, with a big play. Can the defense stand tall for the Tigers on 3rd down and 10? Harry Coleman showed blitz, backs off.
One-on-one coverage down here to the short side.
Tyson Lee will try to run for it. Dumps it off to Stallworth. Flag is down in the backfield. I don't think it mattered, but Tyson Lee should have just kept the football, but it probably won't matter anyway because there was a hold against Mississippi State.
I think it's going to be Quentin Salisbury, the left guard, and he knew it right away.
Holding. Number 55 of the offense. That penalty will be declined. 4th down.
And you could just tell by the body language, kind of been over, looking at the ground, knew immediately that he'd been caught. Well, that's one. Stallworth. Had it not been a hold, he'd be killing himself, kicking himself right now.
Well, Chad Jones is back to return. His last return went 93 yards. He will stand at the 15. Keith Hutchins to punt it away. Good snap. Good booming kick. Jones will take it inside the 5, and he's hit there. He got away with it on his last return. Not this time. Well, now Mississippi State needs their defense to check in one more time. You think Dan Mullen wants this? He's more like the player.
Fired up the defense.
Well, here comes the crowd. LSU backed up inside the 5. That handoff to Scott. He's out to the 8-yard line. Time for us to take a look at our Liberty Mutual play of the game. And, of course, it's got to be the 93-yard punt return by Chad Jones.
No doubt about it. You mentioned he got away with fielding one deep and picks up a couple of excellent blocks along the way down the right sideline. Makes one cut right there and then on his way to the end zone. That's the play of the game. But then fielded one inside his 10 and put LSU in some bad field position right here.
Second down, Jefferson hits his tight end, Dixon, trying to get to the first down, and he does. Good effort by the tight end, Richard Dixon. Chaney dragging him down, but that'll move the chains.
Richard Dixon.
One of the best tight ends they've ever had.
I tell you what, look at the athletic ability of Jordan Jefferson. Knowing you're going to take a hit, but right here, got to figure out a way to get him the football. Just a little jump pass to Richard Dixon. Well, I like Jordan Jefferson. Just a young quarterback that's just going to continue to get better for this LSU football team.
Fresh set of downs now for the Tigers. They'll line up in the eye with Williams, the tailback. And LSU's going to have to call a timeout. That'll be their first of the second half with 4:38 on the game clock. So with that stoppage, we will step aside as well. Drama in Starkville. 38 to go in the contest. The SEC Network Game of the Week presented by Wrangler. 7th-ranked LSU and Mississippi State. It's been entertaining. Dave Neal, Andre Ware, Kara Capuano, the SEC home opener for that man as the Bulldogs head coach Dan Mullen. First down 10 for the Tigers. That handoff goes to Williams. He gets 1.5 yards. Jack Smith comes up from a safety spot to lead the charge.
Boy, everybody on this Bulldog defense kind of committing to the run. You see so many bodies and guys along the line of scrimmage. Remember Brandon LaFell. Remember Terrence Tolliver on the outside.
Batted and incomplete. Looking for Keelan Williams. It'll be third down.
Big-time receivers, and now you expect Mississippi State to kind of back off when you get LSU in a third down and long situation. No pressure on Jordan Jefferson, the young sophomore quarterback. There's still a lot of time left in this.
Coming in from our back judge, but that will be delay a game.
Prior to the snap, delay of game on the offense, number 9. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Third down.
Well, when you said the clock was down around 10, I just glued my eyes on the play clock. It hit 0, and the ball was not snapped. It snapped shortly after, but excellent call by the officials.
Boy, it's been a tough day in the penalty department for this LSU club. It's their 7th infraction. For 65 yards, they came in averaging just 37 yards a game.
That makes it tough. When you hit one for a first down, it comes back and you got to line up and do it all over again. Still
trying to put 4:07 back on the clock. And that just sucked the life out of the crowd. But Dan Mullen needs every second.
No doubt. And you know what? It's a great catch on his part to work the officials to get the extra 5 seconds back on that clock.
We're all set and ready to go.
Third down and 15 coming up. 13. Third down and 13.
everybody in the building knew exactly where Jordan Jefferson wanted to go with his football. A long developing type route down the field, trying to get it all back. You're going to see Les Miles right there. Little body language. Still has the lead. So now if you're a unit, defensive unit, all you need is a stop. But Mississippi State, Dave, they're going to have some excellent field position after this punt.
Helton to punt, Berry to return. He stands at midfield. Not a long kick, but fair catch called for at the midfield stripe. A short field for the Bulldogs with 3:53 to play. Let's check in with our SEC Network studios. Rob. Thank you, Rob. Excitement. You gotta love college football.
One freshman quarterback in Michigan's getting it done.
Let's see what the senior for Mississippi State can do. Tyson Lee. He will keep it and get inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. As you look at our AP top 25, you said there could possibly be some upsets along the way today.
Yeah, you look at it. Arkansas and Alabama locking up this afternoon. Iowa at Penn State. There's another one. Or Cal traveling to Oregon. There's about 5 on that list that could happen or take place before day's end.
Let's see how this LSU defense will stand here with 3:20, 3:19 to play. Big hole. Christian Dupree, first down Bulldogs at the 33-yard line.
Well, LSU, they're going to commit to bringing some pressure on this run to Christian Dupree. You see all the players over here. They go underneath to Christian Dupree away. Just nice little underneath handoff. You're bringing pressure. I'm going to run away from it. And a big, big gashing hole for Mississippi State.
Under 3 minutes to play. Mississippi State in no hurry. 3 timeouts remaining. LSU has 2 timeouts. Here's Dupree again. Cuts it back inside. Dupree still on his feet down to the 21st down. Bulldogs. Celebrating its 5th year, sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets. All-State makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, All-State has contributed more than $1.8 million in scholarship monies. First down and 10. Clock's at 2:22. It's Dupree again off the left side. This time he's swallowed up by a bunch of purple jerseys. Led by Drake Nevis. Al Woods also in on the action.
Yeah, Dupree is a transfer from Tulane. And the way he ended up here was the school dropped his major. And so he was immediately ruled eligible to play here at Mississippi State. His father actually played at Tulane as well.
Tyson Lee looking to the corner. Bumpus threw it a little bit behind him. On the coverage was Brandon Taylor, and Taylor got his hands on the football just as well.
Yeah, you know, you look at it in Bumpus, if you throw and lead him to the end zone, the back corner, now you're in man-to-man right there, you're going to see it throwing one over the top to the back of the end zone, and you've got the lead in this football game, or you tie it up for the chance to take the lead with an extra point. Yeah, LSU, they're gathering around right there, looking to bring the pressure.
With the option, they'll pitch it to Dixon. He needs a block. He's got it. To the 10, to the 5. First down, Mississippi State. Clock stops with 1:29 to play. 18 yards on the pickup. Hawkins pushed him out of bounds. It'll be first and goal, Bulldogs.
What's the golden rule, big guy?
Give it to 24.
When in doubt, give it to 24. And you're going to see it here. This is a check
by Tyson Lee, the center, the senior quarterback. All that pressure we talked about before the snap. He checks to the option, away from it. You got one guy on that side that you read, and that's your pitch key. If he takes you, you pitch it. Anthony Dixon got him set up in first and goal to goal.
Here's Dixon off the right side. He's inside the one, perhaps, right at the 1-yard line. Harry Coleman, the first man there. 1:20 on the clock, and Mississippi State in no hurry. LSU's going to have to use some timeouts.
I'm starting to wonder if Les Miles is watching this clock, and maybe he should take a timeout here to give his offense a chance to go down and score in the event that Mississippi State punches one into the end zone.
Oh, that missed extra point looms so large right now for LSU. It's crunch time in Starkville. Bulldogs down 6 to 7th-ranked LSU. It's our game of the week. We're on the SEC Network. Dave Neal, Andre Ware, Kara Capuano. It'll be second and goal. Bulldogs, 1:22 to play. LSU with one timeout remaining.
Most of the success for Mississippi State's been between the two guards and the center.
Dixon. He did not get in. He's about a foot shy, if that. He's about a size 9 shoe away from getting in.
Maybe not even that much, big guy.
And LSU will take another timeout, their final timeout. Dixon now 27 carries, 107 yards, and a couple of touchdowns.
Boy, he is ever so close to being in the end zone there. Try to go behind the big left guard, Quentin Salisbury, the sophomore. We talked to Dan Mullen yesterday. One senior on this offensive line for Mississippi State. That's the right guard, Craig Jenkins. Everybody else underclassmen.
That's the difference in a tie ball game.
The officials are reviewing this.
Did he get in?
Man, he looks like he's in on that from that angle. Gonna be close. This is about the best angle you have. And I think he's just short of the goal line.
Well, here we go, folks. Third down and literally inches.
A little bit of quarterback sneak action.
Batted down. Chad Jones. Unbelievable play from the safety spot.
A yellow mouthpiece came flying out. And
what a play from Chad Jones.
Yeah, excellent play because he was biting on the play fake as well. And right there, presence of mind to just get a hand up. Actually, it's going to be just a gift to the tight end Marcus Green. Here we go.
4th and goal. Tyson Lee, did he get in? No, he did not. LSU stops the Bulldogs. Unbelievable. Two chances from 4 inches away, and they couldn't get in.
Take another look here. Just a nice fake to the fullback, and you're going to follow him in. And they just permit Chad Scott once again there to make a play. I think I'd try that 2 times in a row rather than throw the play action to Marcus Green. Excellent play on the part of Chad Jones. 2 plays in a row by LSU, and they step up and make plays to basically save this football game.
Drake Nevis, Charles Alexander, Chad Jones. Chad Jones with 2 huge plays now, just on that series. Remember, he's also the guy that took it back 93 yards for a touchdown.
Keep in mind, minute 8, they still have 3 timeouts left.
Flag comes in late. delay a game. Not that that's going to matter much. Half the distance will make it 2 inches out. Boy, the center quarterback exchange is huge in this situation.
No doubt about it.
Matt Moore making sure our clock didn't lose any seconds.
Prior to the snap, delay a game on the offense. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute and 8 seconds. The penalty will be assessed half the distance to the goal.
Well, the thing here, you made a good point. You go to your center if you're Jordan Jefferson. Nothing more important than you getting this football up and me being able to handle it in this situation. Then you get the push.
Quarterback sneak. That'll take it out to the 1 yard line, maybe the 2. Quick timeout by the Bulldogs.
Timeout, Mississippi State.
We might get this football back with 20-some seconds left. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable that they had it 4 inches away and couldn't put it in the end zone. Amazing. I don't know that I've ever seen it that close.
Oh, I don't know either. And you look at it, you thought maybe Anthony Dixon had gotten himself in, but look right here, the play fake, and Chad Jones right there making a nice play because there's nobody back there with Marcus Green. And you come right back on the 4th down stop. They come up a little bit short. I'm wondering if he pitches that football to Anthony Dixon. There's so many defenders that are inside if he's able, and he's got a lead blocker as well out in front. We'll never know.
With a quarterback sneak. That'll get to the 3-yard line. Now to take a look at our Wrangler 5-star player of the game, and it's got to be Chad Jones. 93-yard punt return. 2 huge plays. The knockdown deflection moments ago was so big because Marcus Green was wide open in the end zone. But Jones knocks it away at the final moment and set up a 4th and inches, and then he comes up and keeps Tyson Lee from getting into the end zone.
Another situation, you know, you look at it, and another coaching point that you make to a guy like Tyson Lee is put some touch on the football. We'll go back and take a look at the punt return that Chad Jones had for the touchdown. Breaks a couple of tackles. First fields it inside the 10, but then he's able to find and locate a couple of blockers down the sideline, and then getting himself into the end zone to give LSU the lead in this football game. Mississippi State, take your hat off to them. They have played a hard-fought football game, but a lot of where they are is because of their own undoing.
4 turnovers. They had 3 interceptions in the first half.
Yep.
And a fumble, and still only trailed by 2 at the break. Man, boy, if LSU can get out of this one alive. There goes the handoff to Scott. He'll be shy the 1st down, so it'll be 4th down. And here's the clock. How quickly will they set it and start the play clock?
How about the effort of the defense for Mississippi State in this football game?
Excuse me, timeout taken by the Bulldogs, their final timeout.
I mean, just time after time, they've had to step up and respond and been putting basically some tough situations. But they're going to have an opportunity here again with just under a minute. Mississippi State offensively to try to get themselves into the end zone. Boy, what a good football game.
Here's that final stop on 4th down. Tyson Lee tries to, boy, it looks like that helmet got over the line, but the ball was around his waist and never crossed the plane. I mean, that is...
I'm still wondering if Tyson Lee pulls this football, if he's able to flip it to Anthony Dixon right here. You see so much commitment down inside that if he's able to flip it. See, you see here where there's so many guys in the box. If you fake the fullback and pull it, give the pitch to Dixon, and he gets outside right there. You got one guy that's basically hemmed up. You got a lead blocker out in front.
Well, do you sell out here to try to get the block?
Well, you're going to have some pretty good field position. I don't think so. I think you allow the punt return.
They'll take the safety and make it a long field for Mississippi State.
Smart play on the part of Les Miles.
Their special teams, the way they have played today, that's probably the safest thing they've done all afternoon in terms of the kick game.
LSU will now free kick.
So now they will certainly send Mississippi State back into their own, deep into their own territory with this free kick coming up with 51 seconds to go in a 4-point game.
That man has coached a football game today. Both coaches, both head coaches have been outstanding.
Now we still have 51 seconds left, but I got to tip my cap to Jordan Jefferson on the road.
doubt.
Never got rattled. Played a heady football game. Finished with pretty good numbers today. 15 out of 28, 233, a couple of touchdowns. I just think that he didn't get rattled. He easily could have let this crowd, the road environment, get to him.
Even in the last situation where you're just trying to take the snap and get out of the end zone without taking a safety in that situation, that's tough to do sometimes because you got a guy right over the center, a nose guard pushing, and to get the snap and get yourself out of the end zone, even that shows tremendous poise on the part of Jordan Jefferson.
Moving on. Wayne Bonner and Leon Berry to return.
Now, if you're LSU, you're thinking, get down and cover this kick.
Josh Jasper will send it away off the tee. Some teams like to punt these, but LSU electing to use the leg of Jasper. Leon Berry back at the 20. Good high kick, good coverage kick. Let's see what Berry can do here from the 21-yard line. Good coverage out to the 32 with 46 seconds to play.
And your return for Leon Berry.
Tyson Lee going to get another shot. This Mississippi State offense, another shot to get down, try to go ahead in this football game. Still a lot of time. Remember, every first down, the clock's going to stop in college football. Can work the sidelines as well. A lot of time.
No timeouts left. That's not the throw you want to make anyway. You got to go past it. You got to go past the chains. Chad Bumpus.
Well, you don't want to throw a route that's crossing in the middle of the field and you get tackled and the clock's going to continue to run. So you don't necessarily have to go to the first down marker, but you got to throw something around the sideline. Or, you know, you got LSU spread out. A draw play's as effective as the play they just tried to run.
Tyson Lee. That ball's batted down again. Lazarius Levingston knocks this one down. They didn't even know if Lazarius was going to play today. He got hurt in the Washington game. He's been hobbled. He twisted up a knee, but he's played quite a few snaps this afternoon, made some big plays. Now you're looking at third down.
A good chess match today, and LSU trying to put Mississippi State in checkmate right here.
Deep over the middle, right through the hands of Marcus Green, and one final chance here with 32 seconds left for the Bulldogs.
Keep in mind, you should just think first downs, young man. Now you got to at least throw something about 10 yards or 8 yards to allow a receiver to turn up and pick the first down up.
Going deep. That pass batted in the air, and it's incomplete, and that's your ball game. O'Neal Wilder, the intended target. But LSU, John Chavis's defense, stood as tall as you could stand as a defense. Inches from losing this one. And they stopped the Bulldogs not once, but twice.
So many times people describe the game of football as a game of inches. Well, I think it was defined and proven today in this ball game. Ever so close were the Bulldogs to tying it up and maybe even taking the lead, and they come up just about an inch short. Right on the goal line, LSU holds. Now they're going to get in victory formation and finish this one off.
LSU needed this win in so many ways as the 7th-ranked team in the country. A tough loss for Dan Mullen, but a good win for LSU in terms of they crossed the hurdle, and now the real struggles begin in terms of SEC competition. Two guys right there. I think Les Miles telling Dan Mullen he's got this thing going in the right direction.
He has got tough, hard-nosed players that will be able to compete throughout the remainder of this season and going forward in the SEC. And LSU, you know, there are a lot of things to learn from their performance today. Wasn't ideal, but you know what? You had yourself in some tough situations, and you found a way to win a football game. I think Jordan Jefferson is going to be one heck of a quarterback in the SEC.
We will come back, put a wrap on things. Boy, a good one today in Starkville. Back in a moment.